another tutorial. We're going to be playing Palia, and today I'm going to be showing you how I built these Gothic slash Witchy style archways. I am on PC, and these are some glitches involved with this. What we'll be making today is this large archway, and just sort of showing you how I actually, I guess, built the whole thing and glitched it together. Also, you can do different versions. It doesn't necessarily have to be this big one. You can do a smaller version, which is more of the witchy style, sort of cottagecore. Um, but yeah, I'm going to tear it all down, and I'm going to show you how I built it. Oh. Give me... there. Gather the other item. Oh, hold on. Take me just a second. I'm going to take that. Boop, boop. Oh, it's going to let me take it like this. That's cool. Oh, floaty stuff. So in the nature of this video, this is my first video, just in case you're wondering if it's not amazing. But basically, oh, alright. I don't remember what I was saying. I finally tore it all down. Okay. This is going to be using a couple different glitches. I am not exactly sure how they're all called. We're just going to say what I think I remember they are. You're starting out. You're going to be needing stone crates. You're going to be needing the walls. You're going to be needing stone pavers. Let's see, what's the name of that candle? The Kalima candle. You're going to need builder stone pillars. Again, the walls, the small stone crate, the round concrete paver. For hiding some things, you're going to need like a young pine that's grown up to just that stage. The Ravenwood lantern, I switched it to modified the color to alabaster. You're going to be needing a gourmet dinner plate. You're going to need a wall shelf of some sort. I've only been able to do this with 2 different wall shelves. I've tried a few different other. Actually, I think the industrial one would also work. But I wanted more of a prettier look, just in case it was utilized some different way. So I went with the Ravenwood wall shelf on this one, but you can also do the bellflower and the industrial wall shelf. The Moonstruck lantern for decoration, another Ravenwood lantern, a Ravenwood large end table. This is again is just for decoration. It's not needed for the actual building of the archway. For the actual archway, you will need for the large one, I believe 13 of the small stone crates. You will need one stone wall. You'll need a shelf of some sort, and then you'll need a gourmet dinner plate. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be placing the wall shelf here. We're going to grab the wall shelf, sorry, the wall. We're going to be grabbing our shelf. We're going to place it. If you're unaware, you have a normal placement, which gives you the graph, which is not showing right now. You can see it on the building over there. Since this is a wall shelf, it's not going to highlight on the ground, but you can hit Z and it'll give you free placement, just in case you didn't know that. We're going to place the wall. We're going to place the dinner shelf. Not the dinner shelf. The gourmet plate. And we want it to be on the edge, but we don't want it to be touching. We want it to be sort of like that. Because when you attach your actual archway, you don't want it to be attached to the wall. You want it to be attached to the plate and to the shelf. Okay, for the actual building of the arch, you're going to need your crates. And this is where the grid really comes in handy. I like doing and putting it on the grid when I first start out. It makes it to where everything's spaced nicely. You're going to be placing one, and then you're going to be giving yourself 2 spaces and into the grid. Then you're going to come around this way, and you're going to build 2 this way. You want to be careful when you're building with these. Sometimes they do tend to sometimes like to go inside of each other a little bit. Even if you're not doing the free placement, sometimes you have to be careful. So just make sure that when you do it, it's a nice click in, so that everything's lined up nice. So we want 3 here, and then after you get your 3, you want to start turning them a little bit. How I like to do it is I just turn them once. I hit the Z so I have free placement, and then I move it into where it's starting to go into the archway. You're going to get the glitchy little thingies. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. If you really don't like it, you can make it a few times, and sometimes it won't do it. But I tend to notice that I run through the archway too fast to really care about glitchy stuff, so I like the look, I like the effect. So we're going to do 1 and 2 and 3 this way. Line it up to where it's straight, move it one direction, 1 more placement, and then you're going to mush it in. Starting again, we're going to do it this way. We're doing 1, hitting Z, moving it in. And you, oh wait, I don't like the placement of that one. And that looks a little bit better. Is that the exact same? I think that's the exact same. Okay, we're going to try it again. Be patient with yourself. There we go. Outside view is a better view. Okay, cool. Nope, that's not how we do it. Alright, 1 movement opposite of straight. And we're placing. And we got 1 more. And this one does get a little finicky as you get to the top. Just move to the side a little bit. It helps actually get it in place. Okay, and then that's the last one there. And then we're doing 1 more. We're going to turn this on its end, and we're going to smoosh it in here. I like to make sure it's lined up around both edges. Nice and seamless. Okay, so now we have our archway built. It is on the ground. You can see its nice little shape. I love the points. I've seen a lot of tutorials where they do like the round, or they do like the different little bug archways and stuff, but I wanted to do something for Halloween. It's coming up. It's spooky time, so I'm doing a challenge where it's like you build a haunted house, and that's what I'm working on. So this is how I came up with this. Okay, with this all being said, sometimes when you get to this point, you can mess it up. You want to be careful when you are placing this onto your actual wall shelf, because if you do place it too close to the stone wall itself, it will attach to that, and then you won't be able to move it the way that you need to, and you'll have to basically break this all down again and rebuild it. I've done that myself a few times. Be patient with yourself. This is a journey, it's not a sprint. How we're going to select this, though, is you see how the options are available. I have an Alt group select. I'm going to select Alt, and I'm going to group select this to where now I have movement. I have noticed that if you grab Alt select from this side, it's harder to place unless you have your wall all shifted to the right side instead of the left, like how I have mine. It is easier to grab it if you Alt select from this side. What we're going to do is we're going to come over here to our wall. We're going to line it up, and we're going to try to place this. You want to free place it with Z again, because you won't get the option. You see how it's trying to go into the wall? Do not select it there, because it will connect, and you will have to rebuild this. not getting a placement. I'm only getting that placement, so we're not going to place it. We are going to readjust this plate because I don't want to have to rebuild this. Readjust your plate. Don't adjust or place it down or you'll have to rebuild. I have learned from my mistakes. Alright. Oh, it almost had it. Come on. I think I might have to readjust my plate again. I don't want to rebuild, so we're going to just keep doing that. Let's put my plate here. Alt select, returning, and we are placing. I'm gonna try it this way. Ah, there we go. See that little space? That is what we need. If we didn't have that space, we wouldn't be able to move it. And now all you're going to do is just line this up. It doesn't matter that my shelf is exposed a little bit past the bricks or past the crates, because you can actually sink this into the ground doing it this way a little bit, as I can show you here. See that little bit of sink that I have? I could make it shorter, a little bit taller. I could go all the way however I want to place it. So really, this is the coolest part of this. Now that this is attached to a shelf, any place that I have that I could attach a shelf, I could attach this. But by doing that, we're taking it from a horizontal to a vertical position, which gives you your upright stance. So now this is how I want it. What we're going to do is we're going to attach. And there we go. We got that attached. Now we have our archway. It's standing upright. And we're going to go ahead and hide some stuff. You can do, if you can figure out a different way to hide this, that is really cool. I was trying to think of different ways that I could utilize it. What I ended up coming with to make it not too stressful for me was I put a young pine tree here. Has a nice little greenery, hides your shelf. And then to spruce this up, you can do a couple different things. Let's see. I have a couple crates. I can build a little fence real quick. And then build on a little bit more. Make another little fencey poo. Okay. And then, let's see, a little bit of decoration. We're going to add that Ravenwood table back. Free placement is nice. Okay, we're going to add that little bush. Oh, the bushes can be difficult. Okay, that's not bad. And then add our little mushroom little thingy. Put our little light up here. And then we're going to turn everything on. That's another thing too. Pro tip, if you are placing something and it's going to be up in the air or high, turn that on before you get started. That is definitely very useful. Last thing on this little tutorial, we're going to show how to do a quick float technique to get my little light that was up in the sky back up there. I like to use these little crates on ends because they give you a nice run up whenever you go to play something. You don't have to hop. And just for me, that's too many buttons to push, and I get lost in it. So we are going to place the light. What you want is one of your pavers. It doesn't matter what size, whatever size you want. I like to tend to go for the smaller ones. They're easier to hide. The stone ones don't really have a really small one, but I try to find the smallest. So what you're going to do is you're going to have your little thing that you can run up, your stairs, whatever. This is how I do it. You're going to place your paver at the end. You're going to grab it, and this is the distance. I forget how it was explained. This is the distance from which your float is going to be. So if you have it placed like this, it's going to be a really close float. If you have it placed like this, it's going to be a far float. So I want it close because I basically want to get the height that I want, but I'm going to build a walkway, so it doesn't really need to be super far. So you want to place your paver. You want to know on your bar at the bottom where it is, the thing that you want to place. For me, on PC, it's in my 2 slot. Keep that in mind. Grab your item, take it to the desired height that you want, and then what you're going to do is do a cancel placement where you're going to, from this position, you're going to hit 2, which is going to try to place this. You want to try to place it. If it's not going to place, you can do an alternate. If that's not going to place, you can cancel it, hit 2 again, twice, and you want to place it at that point. How you know your float works is if you grab your paver. Wait, hold on. Before I do this, light it. Light it up. Grab your paver. If it moves together, you know your float likely worked. And now I have this floating up in the air. I'd already measured out the height that I wanted when I built this. I liked the 4 because it put it up in the air. But you know what? I think I'm actually going to move it to 5 because I think I like that just a little bit higher. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to grab it again. We're going to place here. Select. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I hope it's in the same spot. Okay, it was. I didn't check. Always know where your thing is placed. We're going to try to place it. Doesn't place. We're going to try to place it again. We're going to relight it because that's going to be higher. And now we're going to see if it moves as 1. Yep. Okay. And we got a float. Okay, perfect. Grab your anchor and put this where you want it to be. That's too far back. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, so 5 is the height that I wanted. Now that I have this floated up in place, I'm going to go ahead and place the rest of my pavers, just so I don't forget. Give it a nice little... Let's get some variety up in there. We don't want it to be too tight. Pavers do count to your overall a limit to how much stuff you can have on your slot, just to keep that in mind. And then, again, I like to use these as stairs for many different things. They're super easy. You have a whole bunch of them, and they stack nice, and you can run up them. I've used them quite a bit. And then I'm going to take my... Where are they? There they are. My bellflower little planters, and I'm going to place them on top for a nice little look. And I don't remember if this was everything, but I think it was. Hold on, let me check. Oh no. I gotta replace my tree to give it some uniformity. And then, just to give it a little bit more of that Gothic sort of witchy feel, I'm going to place some of these little lights I like the pillar. It gives it a little bit of height, that gives it a little bit of depth. Free placement is very pleasing. Let's see. That's not bad. We're going to again take our little stairs. We're going to turn them. We're going to turn them this way. I think we can actually place them this way. And we're going to place our little lights. Like so. Oop. Too many buttons. That is my problem sometimes. Light our candles. And for a little bit more depth, we're going to put some more candles down just to give it a little bit more of something. Turn that on. All right. So this is how you build an archway. I built one a little bit smaller over here. It's just a one space instead of a two, so you can still pass through it. Having this mushroom light does make it a little bit closer, but you can still go through. I just layered some flowers. I do find that it is easier to plant your flowers instead of always placing them. Sometimes they don't like to necessarily go where you want them to go. This is a little bit overgrown for my taste, but I do enjoy a witchy cottagecore, so I might utilize this somewhere. But to show a little bit of where I've placed it, it's actually nothing as grand as this. This is a combination of something that I'm building on my plot, or actually two things. And with this in mind, I really feel like you could build another one of these and place it right here at the end and just continue your walkway through. Build a nice little grand walkway. Mine is not entirely grand, it's just two little thingies, but it is nice going into it. And I did change it up a little bit with mine. I built that with those, but then I also did the different little tree thing that came with the new alchemist house. So this is the end of my tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. This is my first one. I said that earlier. I said a lot. But here we are. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be back with some more tutorials. Hopefully more Halloween themed ones and possibly some fireplaces. And that is it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.